Judging from my upload frequency, one might think I am not consistent, but I happen to be one of those guys who sees the cup as half full, not half empty, unless we're talking about Karen Nyamu's reasoning. I am a slave of my free will, and my free will said, hii ni drop leo. A lot has been happening, from Hustler's interpretation of the wheelbarrow at the Koito, to postponement of the general elections because they were to be held this year, to Homer Bay, to the admission of the consequence of electing a thief.
If you choose a thief and expect that they will not steal from you, you are not being intelligent.
According to the Independent Medical Legal Unit, at least 20 Kenyans have died in police custody. That is between January and August this year. Definitely a new meaning to dressing to kill. Electricity costs have gone up again. EPRA added new charges that will increase our power bills by about 4.7 shillings per unit this month. KPLC has decided to charge us for the light that is at the end of the tunnel as well. But let's begin with the Mogotio MP Reuben Kiborek. Reuben asked the IG of Police, Douglas Kanja, to arrest him together with Wiggy G, and if he comes out, pause, he will be singing Tutam.
Juzi nilikuwa naona hii mtu amesumbua watu sana, mimi nimepata dawa yake. Mkora anaitwa Kashako. Nataka nimuombe Kanja IG ya polisi. Nimefikiria nikaona hii mtu dawa yake ni rahisi sana. Hii mtu unishike mimi, uniweke sel na ushike hii mtu weke hiyo sel, unukutanishe na sel moja. Bwana IG ile maneno itafanyika, usijali, lakini mtu atatoka akisema ukabila ni mbaya. Tusikuwe watu ya chuki, tuache ukabila, na hata usipochunga atatoka akisema Tutam. Wewe tu kazi yenye unafaa kufanya ni kunishika na ushike yeye na utukutanishe kwa sel moja, Bwana Kanja.
First of all, he should have been arrested a long time ago. He's a sick man. If there's anything Boondocks taught me back a day, is that whenever you make such a statement like the one he did, please add no homo at the end. As a measure of our economy doing wonderful, our very own soda sommelier, CS Mbadi, said that soft drink consumption has gone up.
My brother, let me tell you, soft drinks consumption has gone up in this country. Soft drink. Do you know what that tells you? Who takes sodas? Sodas people take when they're at a little more in their pockets.
The guy next to him is also as shocked as we are. Meanwhile, at State House,
Jina kiebuona kwa Mr. President, machupa, mashofa, machupa kila mahali.
According to an old mutual report, 43% of young Kenyans aged 20 to 29 are now borrowing money to meet daily expenses, and according to CS Mbadi, buy Coke, pun not intended. Back a day when life was simpler, you could tell because even beverages were softer, pun intended. Now, we have Coke because life is hard. Pause. Kenya's resident chauffeur, former president, must go, as seen on this video, is driving Wicknell Chivayo to his plane after the wedding and to his macadamia farm, which he had to just to show he is nuts.
I will have here 400 acres, which is like 150 hectares.
Okay. 150 hectares. Macadamia nuts.
Normally, for such a person, I would recommend a walk to the farm or his plane. But oh well, what's the saying? You can't teach a fat dog new tricks. Oh, sorry. It's you can't teach an old dog new tricks. A forum was held to plan beyond 2060, and in attendance were politicians and professionals from every walk of life. Ideally, This would have been a melting pot of ideas that would help propel the country towards the right direction. However, the only person who made sense was a 7-year-old boy named Adrian Ombuni. This is what he had to say.
Go ahead, take it away, Baba.
Good morning, Mr. President. My name is Adrian Ombuni. I am 7 years old. In 2060, I will be 41 years old. My dream for Kenya, I would like to see good school for all children, good hospital for everyone, clean water for every home, clean roads everywhere, more job for young people, happy and safe families, clean towns and cities, more trees and green spaces, our animal protected, peace in Kenya. Mr. President, I want to grow up in a happy and safe Kenya. I want Kenya to be a country where every child can dream and achieve their dreams. Thank you, Mr. President. God bless you.
Wow, wow, wow. Jamani wazazi simnigawe huyu. Asante.
By the look on Must Go's face, you can tell he's angry because the little boy didn't mention anything to do with affordable housing, because he also knows it's some BS. Failed promises have been the manifesto of this government ever since they were voted in back in 2022. And one of the promises was to make sure that every mother who gives birth will leave the hospital with diapers. He has reiterated the same recently. Here's what he said.
Mr. President,
Here I come.
I want to take you back to 2022, where you made certain promises.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
One of them was that any mother that delivers will get free diapers. I thought in 2023 I'll be one of the first beneficiaries.
Okay.
I didn't get diapers. What happened?
Hii ni maajabu.
Let me put this in context. It is what is expected of every leader that if you want the mandate to lead a country, you must give the people your plan, your vision, your commitment on what you're going to do.
Oh my God!
Lexicology is very important, and if you listen to him carefully, he doesn't say he will provide. Maybe he meant before discharge, they check kama uko nayo, na kama huna,
kaa na mama yako usikuja hapa.
If I had $1 for every failed promise from Kasongo, there will be no odious debt, and Coca-Cola will shut down just by the sheer number of orders of soda that will be made. With that kind of thinking, I shall be given Buddy's job. On this month's episode of Sema Ikutoke, Papa wa Roma, who is in Roma right now, revealed that MPs have been receiving TSE letters from State House and selling them at 400k.
Kuna wabunge wetu wengine na wapeleka kwa rais, anawapatia kila mtu barua kumi za walimu, unasikia wameuza. Sasa kama mtu hajiwezi, wewe ni night nurse vile huyo mama alisema, na unamuuliza 1400 umpe barua ya walimu apatie mtoto yake, hiyo pesa atatoa wapi? That is immoral, na hatuwezi kukubali uongozi kama huo.
Education Committee Chairperson Julius Miller, in response, called on Kenyans to provide evidence of politicians distributing the TSE letters. He probably said this while at State House though. So much news, so little time. But as I go, here's a little game, since it's the weekend, and maybe some of you want to get wasted. Here's the game. I have a video of Must Go, and for every time he says the word context, because he clearly doesn't know what it means, you take a shot. And let's see how you're going to fare on. Badai.
Cheers! Cheers!
Are you aware, sir, that your cabinet is unconstitutional? Thank you very much, Eric. I am fully aware that the court has made a determination and given me time to realizing that that is work in progress to be able to do what I need to do. But in that context, let me speak to my oath of office in a broader context and to speak to this day, Katiba Day. And as I have said in my earlier statement, this is not just a ritual. This is a time for us to reflect and account for what we have done in 16 years with respect to the tenets, the principles, the mandate, and the requirement of our Constitution. And putting that in the context of my oath of office and being accountable for that oath of office, and putting it in the context of what, again, I said earlier in terms of how do we account for the authority that we exercise and whether that is making impact on the people of Kenya, especially on what you said, whether more and more citizens are closer to the rights that the Constitution envisaged. And I will say the following, that by way of accountability, when we seek a mandate like the way I did, I made commitments to the people of Kenya. And those commitments were not just statements. They were not just slogans. They were commitments that ultimately I must be held account, because that is what the Constitution demands of me as president. And I would want to put it in this context. Number one, I made commitments about how to transform the nation and what I need to do. And I made proposals to the people of Kenya that this is how I intend to stabilize the economy. This is how I intend to make sure that we have access to health getting to the majority of citizens. This is how I intend to work on making sure that there is decent housing as it's required by the Constitution. This is how education that is provided for as an obligation to government in the Constitution, this is what we are going to do. This is how we are going to work on access to water and all the other requirements of the Constitution. And I can confidently tell the nation today that subsequent to my election and my commitment that I will be faithful to the Constitution, we have done whatever we needed to do, difficult as it may have been, to stabilize our economy. Today, our economy is the 6th largest economy in Africa. Our interest rates have come down. Our exchange rates have come down and stabilized. Our inflation has come down and stabilized. And our sovereign debt position is way different from what it was. We did not only, avoid the default. We've gone ahead to create a much more stable economy.
Allow me to bring you back to my question.
Let me so that I don't lose my train of thought.
Okay.
Let me say that often I have been asked, you committed yourself.
Cabinet unconstitutional. What are you going to do about it? There is a court order that has not been vacated by any other court that has given you until the 28th of October to reconstitute your cabinet.
Correct. Precisely what I'm telling you is, in the context of commitments that you make, you may not necessarily get 100%, but you can get 80%. In your estimation, have you passed that exam or did you not pass? If the commitments you made, you have achieved 80%. There are some commitments that are work in progress. But what I was trying to point to you is that of the commitments I made to the people of Kenya, commitments on the economy, commitments on education, commitments on agriculture, commitments on housing, commitments on making sure we control our debt, commitments on making sure that we have universal health coverage, I can confidently say we are at 80%. That does not mean we have discharged every commitment. There are commitments that are outstanding. Among them is that one on making sure that we respect the 2/3 gender principle.
Will you reconstitute the cabinet?
It is, that's a much more simpler thing to say.
Okay, let me just,
we're speaking in context.
Yes.
Don't make it simplistic.
I am not, sir.
Because, there are many people who are telling me, for example, I heard exactly what you're saying.